as I've said before, there are these three themes throughout the daily readings of Lent. One is, how do I live? Two is looking at the cross and what's going to be happening on Good Friday, looking ahead to it. And then third, what is going on in the inner life of Christ? And in today's readings, we really hear about that second piece, about the crucifixion. Jesus knows. Jesus knows he's going to be crucified. He knows he's going to be rejected. He's told his disciples 3 times that this is going to happen. So why does he tell this parable? Well, Matthew certainly brings it up for our being aware of it, and also being recognizing that we're not automatically in. We're not automatically in. That Jesus is reaching out in love to the scribes and the chief priests and the Pharisees as he's speaking these parables. He wants them to turn their hearts to God, to let go of their pride, and to turn their hearts to God. He's reaching out to them with divine love. They haven't listened to all the other things he's saying, so now he's getting a little bit harsher. Not because he wants to be harsh with them, but because the other stuff hasn't worked. Maybe in this they will listen. And maybe some do, but we don't hear about that in the Gospel. And in the first reading today, we hear about Joseph and how he is sold into slavery by his own brothers, out of jealousy, out of rivalry. Very much how the chief priests and the Pharisees probably were feeling about Jesus. And so Joseph is a type, a foreshadowing of Jesus being sold. Here it's 20 pieces of silver. In the Gospel, got to allow for inflation and other things like that. It's 30 pieces of silver, about 1,000 years later. And with this, the culmination of the Joseph story, which we don't hear today, but you remember because you've seen Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, of course, that at the end of it, Joseph becomes second only to the Pharaoh, even after going through slavery and servitude and dungeons and all this stuff. But then he's raised up and he's made second to Pharaoh. And then his brothers come to him not recognizing him. And he said, eventually he shows them who he is. He feeds them. He takes care of them. Brings his father back. But after his father dies, they're worried, is he going to get angry with us? Is he going to enact revenge against us? But what happens? He says, you don't understand. God allowed this evil to happen so that people could be saved. So that not just Egypt, but nations, all the nations in the area could be saved, because Joseph was then in place to be able to save up the grain and the wheat for those years of famine. And that's what Jesus says to us. I'm not looking to enact revenge. All the evil that happened to me happened for salvation of so many peoples. But what has to happen? We have to get over our jealousy and rivalry, as we know the brothers of Joseph eventually did. We have to get over our jealousy and rivalry. We have to get over our anger. We have to get over all of our sins and learn to trust in Jesus. Someone was sharing with me about meditation he had on God's unconditional love that he has for us. And of course we all know this. We say it all the time. God's love is not conditioned by anything. But he said, and I think about my conditional love for God. God, I will love you if you do this, if you follow this. It's that whole, thy will be done that we struggle with. And he was sharing just those struggles he had in terms of his conditional love for God. And God says, but I put no conditions on my love for you. I love you so much. Just come to me. So maybe that can be part of our reflection today, is really, what are the conditions that I put on my love for God? What do I expect from God for me to love Him? Do I expect Him to follow my plan, my timing, the way I want things done? Or am I able to surrender myself in trust to the heart of the Father? Jesus only wants for us to come and be embraced by His unconditional love. May we truly move past our conditions and be focused on the love He has for us.